Welcome back to the Football Today podcast, brought to you by Betfair, who are on your side this EPL season. I'm your host, Liam McAllion, also known as the Stats Guy, also known as Ben Chilwell, according to the comments. As always, I am joined by Marcus Bazzano in that lovely Chelsea kit. How you going, Marcus?
It's
a very nice
sexy kit. We just did our rankings on home kits for this season, so check it out on the socials.
Yes, on Football Today AU on TikTok, and then Football Today Australia on the other socials, Instagram and Facebook. We are here for all things Premier League, heading into the international break as match week 3 has just finished. Been very exciting. A lot has happened in 3 match weeks already, so been absolutely awesome. Today we're going to cover the top EPL news, around the grounds we'll call it, table check, our best Betfair back or lay future bets. So we're very excited to be partnering with Betfair.
Yep.
A lot of good stuff to cover there. That'll include title picks and odds. And then we're going to finish with a transfer window discussion with who came out on top. We're going to laugh at a few teams, and some of the bigger teams we can laugh at. Then there's actually some surprises that have happened in the last week or so.
Yeah, we got the best transfers, the worst transfers, just everything.
Yeah, and then we might have to talk about a few managers as well, because it's early in the season, there's already people saying off with their heads. So we'll be getting into that as well. Before we start, I just mentioned, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you click the bell and get the notifications to all as well. So it helps you see all of our videos and things like that.
Yep.
As I mentioned, on TikTok, Facebook and Instagram. Football Today are you on TikTok? Football Today Australia on Facebook and Instagram. All right, Marcus.
Let's get into it.
We're very excited. Talking about EPL once again.
First
around the
EPL
grounds.
show of the week.
We're very excited.
Let's get it.
Let's go. Around the grounds. We'll start with, all right, just in the run sheet. I'm just going to read it out as it says. Man United suck. That's what it says in the run sheet. What is going on with Man U? Obviously, had a decent trade deadline. They were pretty good in the transfer window. But what's going on there? They've started really bad.
Yeah, look, is the run sheet wrong though?
No.
It's not wrong.
No, the run sheet never lies.
They've been poor. Like they got obviously the first win against Fulham on the opening day, which they kind of scraped through that. It was a Xerxes late
just
goal.
got over the line 1-0.
Yeah, terrible against Brighton. Deservedly loses in that game, and then got absolutely thrashed by Liverpool at Old Trafford. I don't think you can grasp how big that rivalry is and how embarrassing it is to lose 3-0 at home to Liverpool.
Well, even when they've sort of been poor, maybe last year, the year before they were pretty strong, but they were always good at home. There was those stats for ages, even though they'd just scrape out a draw or scrape out a win, like a 1-0 win like in the first week.
Like they wouldn't lose. Yeah.
They wouldn't lose. Whereas that one, even if they lost 1 or 2-0 to Liverpool, you'd be like, all right, Liverpool are just that class above.
Yep.
But 3-0 is a bit unacceptable for their high standards.
Could have easily been 5.
I know.
5, 6.
And then another one we've written down here, Ten Hag out. It might be way too early. It's only been 3 match weeks. We're only at the first international break. There is markets on Betfair for that, which we'll get into later in the season, I think. Bit too early to say Ten Hag out for me. I don't know about you, Marcus.
Yeah, it's definitely too early in the season, but if things continue the way they're going, I think Ten Hag by Christmas could be gone if they continue to struggle this badly. Like they just have no identity of play, their play style, and look, worrying signs for Manchester United.
Yeah, well, even a few of the older managers were saying about how they've obviously won trophies, and I think that's why he's hung around. But those trophies aren't those big trophies that
Carabao Cup.
Yeah, that shouldn't help you stay around, I think. But I wouldn't be surprised.
They were embarrassed in the Champions League last time around.
Yeah.
So
they want to get back to that, but at the moment it's going to be a few years off, I think, for that.
I think so.
Next one around the grounds that everyone's talking about, the Declan Rice red card. This was very funny. As a Chelsea fan, I was just laughing my head off seeing Arsenal draw. I almost said lose 1-1, but for them that would have felt like a loss, but it was definitely a draw 1-1 to Brighton.
What do you think?
What do I think?
Was it a second yellow?
First look, I said, no way, that's a yellow.
Yep.
And then sort of looking back at it again, it probably was a yellow. And it was just unlucky that it was the second yellow because both yellows were probably there.
Yep.
But then the other side of it, he got kicked in the leg, and who was the
Veltman?
Veltman literally kicked Declan Rice in the leg, wasn't going for the ball at all, I don't think, and the ref sort of fell for that and didn't give him a yellow card. So I feel like we're on a similar page with that one.
Yeah, I'm similar to you. I think it definitely was the second yellow.
Okay.
So Declan Rice was right to be sent off.
Okay.
Although in saying that, where's the consistency? Like Rice should have got sent off with a second yellow.
Yeah.
But then João Pedro should have got a yellow card for booting the ball away.
Yeah.
And Veltman probably arguably should have got a yellow card as well.
He just blatantly kicked him in the leg.
Yeah, all the Arsenal fans saying it was horrendous decision, horrible decision. No. It wasn't. It's like letter of the law, it's there. It's just the inconsistency. Like João Pedro should have got one as well.
Yeah. Well, I think almost every couple of games there's like a moment where a player kicks a ball away, scuffs a little mark or things like that, and the ref sort of just gives him a warning.
It's only because Veltman was smart with it because he went to go play it quickly.
Yeah.
put the ball down quickly, and then that's when Rice sort of just nudged it out of play.
It was done by Declan Rice, obviously a very experienced player.
It was, yeah.
Because if he was not on a yellow, you'd be like, all right, fine. He was just sort of just trying to stop the play. He was on a yellow. You got to be smarter than that when you're on it. Don't take any risks. So at the end of the day, you're right. In the letter of the law, it was right, but just the inconsistency in the refereeing.
So. And it's his first ever red card. In the Premier League.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's a good boy.
He missed the match against Tottenham in the North London derby, which is huge.
Oh, I forgot. I just realised
Arsenal will have probably Thomas Partey and Jorginho.
Yeah. That's at prime time, Australian time as well, 11 p.m. So I'm very, not prime time, but for Premier League standards.
It's about as good as we get.
Yeah, it's about as good as we get. So I'm excited for that.
Yep.
Next one in around the grounds, Leicester, I think it's just today, this morning, won their appeal against the FFP charge. So they'll lose no points. So they'll be really happy with that.
Yep.
But a lot of people are questioning the inconsistency with people going over the financial fair play. So I
feel like shouldn't it just be like the rules are if you don't if you make a loss of more than 100 or so million, I don't know the exact figures, but surely it's just night and day. Like which side you're on the fence, and then if you're on the wrong side, charged.
For example, Everton, they were on the wrong side. I think it was only by a little bit, but they got charged points twice. So yeah,
I know there's a lot of other stuff that goes into it about like when funds were processed and whatnot. But the Premier League weren't very happy that Leicester got away with this. But look, that helps them with their relegation battle. They'll probably be safe now. They'll still be in and around relegation, but easier without the points deduction.
They got Vardy party, mate. He'll take him up. He'll take him up the table.
No, he's just breaking corner flags.
Yeah, breaking corner flags and drinking Red Bulls every hour.
Did you see when he against Tottenham?
Oh, that was so good.
How many Premier Leagues have you won?
Yeah, he's just like he's walking up there booing him. He's going 1-0, lads, 1-0. That was.
I love that.
He's so funny. All right, last one around the grounds. We have to touch on this. I could talk about this for years. He's just unbelievable. Erling Haaland continues to break records left, right, and centre. Unbelievable. He has 8 hat-tricks in 69 games. He is a robot. He's, what is he averaging? A hat-trick almost every 7 or 8 games.
7 or 8 games, yeah.
That is unbelievable. The Premier League has never seen this type of gameplay before.
Like it. Yeah, tell us about the players in and around Haaland's hat-trick record.
I'll give a few stats, which I don't often do.
I'll say in and around, like Haaland is well clear.
No one is close to this. So this is, I'm going from the players that are above Haaland in hat-tricks. So you've got Haaland is 8 hat-tricks in 69 games. Unbelievable. Next is Robbie Fowler, 9 hat-tricks in 379 games. So that's 310 more games.
Like these are the greats of the game.
Then you got Alan Shearer, arguably the GOAT, 11 hat-tricks in 441 games.
Yep.
And then Aguero is on top, 12 hat-tricks in 275 games. So on this, at the moment, Haaland's on track to beat Aguero's record by 100 and something games.
Yep.
And are we ever going to see a player like this? He's like, someone commented the other day, I think it was one of our social posts or another one, saying Haaland is turning the Premier League into a farmers league just when Man City play.
Literally.
Like,
he is.
Obviously isn't a farmers league and his goals are amazing, but he just can't stop scoring.
I feel bad for the people who didn't pick him in fantasy either.
Idiots.
Like,
did you pick him?
I got him.
Oh, nice.
You got to be kicking yourself. But Aguero is he's the next best, averaging a hat-trick every just over like 20 games.
Which is still great because he's getting
still incredible.
About 2 a season,
But every 7-8 games getting a hat-trick. Unreal.
Well, he's already got 2 hat-tricks, Haaland, in 3 games.
He's got the most amount of goals as he's got every single club this season. Chelsea and Arsenal have 7 goals.
Yep.
Haaland has 7 goals. And the rest have less than 7. It just shows how crazy that guy is.
He should just have his own Premier League table where he gets the wins and then goal difference and things like that. Just honestly, Haaland.
Can we just take out Haaland's goals from City?
Yeah,
please. That can be their instead of a points deduction.
They'll finish 10th.
Take away Haaland's goals and their results from Haaland's goals. That's a fair points deduction in my opinion.
Oh my god, that's in terms of all the 150 charges, I don't mind that. Yeah. If they take out, they might be last without Haaland's goals. They'll just have De Bruyne just trying to get assists and where's Haaland? He'll be a bit mad. But yeah, unbelievable. We have to mention that he is literally.
Share it around.
He's a robot. You see him walking down the street. He looks like a bit of an NPC sort of vibe. I don't know. He's just a very strange character, but all he does is score goals.
He needs a P test.
Yeah. No, he's good. He's good. He's a good guy, I reckon. All right, that was around the grounds. Let's get into a bit of a table check. Look away if you're, I don't know, Everton. I'd say they're last at the moment, but we'll start at the top. Do you want to start at the top, Marcus?
We'll start at the top. Obviously, City first, Liverpool second. Both have 3 wins from 3. Liverpool, I think the only team in the competition not to concede a goal so far this season.
I think you're right, 2-0,
2-0, 3-0.
Yeah, so spot on.
Great start by them. Obviously, they did play Ipswich, Brentford, and a shocking Manchester United team. But still, really good signs under Arne Slot.
You'd expect Man U to score at home, so they've done really well defensively for sure. Yep.
Arsenal in 4th after that slip up against Brighton, 2 wins and a draw.
Yep.
Chelsea in 11th, obviously fell to a draw at home as well.
Were you up and about after the 6-2 win?
6-2 against Wolves. Yep.
And then we drew to Crystal Palace. What's going on there?
That ended a run of 14 consecutive wins against Crystal Palace.
Really?
Yep.
Wow, that's a great
And it was a draw. So, look, when you think Chelsea are going to be good, just piggyback a bit.
Yeah.
Brighton have been so good under their new manager.
Yep.
Who's only 31, by the way.
Yeah, he's younger.
31.
How old's Milner? And
37, I think?
Yeah,
Or
he's
38?
6 years younger than their oldest player.
That's unreal.
That's so good.
So they're 3rd, still haven't lost a game there.
Yep.
Newcastle are 5th somehow, even though they've looked pretty ordinary to start the season.
Pretty shaky. I tipped them for top 4, but they probably should have lost to Bournemouth. Very, very lucky with some VAR decisions. Yep. And then on the weekend, Tottenham could have easily won. They had a lot more chances.
It's probably good that they've been accumulating these points when they're not playing great.
I think they did that the last time they were top 4. They had so many draws, just they got a bit lucky, but they know how to hold on to wins and draws. So fair play to them.
And unlucky Everton and Southampton have been by far the worst 2 teams in the competition so far.
I'd say Wolves aren't that far behind them, but in terms of on the table, at least Wolves...
Yeah, I think Wolves have something there, though.
Yeah.
I think at the Molineux, and Everton, what you know about Everton is they're so defensively stable with Sean Dyche.
It just can't defend at all.
Concede 4 to Tottenham. Concede 3 goals in 10 minutes to lose to Bournemouth.
Wild.
It's, not great.
Not great. That's the other thing. Sean Dyche, looking at those first managers to leave, if they continue this, because... Yeah, you're right. Sean Dyche is just known for that defensive.
I think he's the favourite.
He is, yes.
Yeah.
It's the first manager to leave, yeah.
First manager to get sacked. With Betfair, he's got the favourite.
I reckon we'll have a look at that in a few weeks' time and see how Man U's tracking, see how Everton's tracking.
We might have to check the back or lay odds for Sean Dyche.
We will, yeah.
He could stick around.
Don't mind that. Talking about back or lay, Marcus, we're going to have a look at our next segment, back or lay future bets through Betfair, the only place to back or lay on the EPL. So we love a bit of this. Back or lay bets, we're going to do this for all season, for every single match week of the Premier League.
Yep. Do you want to quickly tell them in simple terms, what a back and a lay bet is?
Sure.
Some people may be confused.
We'll start off with a match. If you're backing a team to win, that's just a normal bet. Everyone knows how to back a team to win and things like that.
Yep.
If you're laying, I'll say a match bet, you can go, just say it's Southampton. No, they're not going to win. So I'll just say Liverpool to win. That's a back. And then if you think they're going to draw or lose, you can lay against them and things like that. So that's on Betfair. This week, though, we're going to talk about backing or laying some future bets because we've got the international break, no matches this week. So maybe while we discuss our bets, we can explain it a little bit as well. So do you want to start us off? We'll do our backs first.
Okay.
What's your best future bet that you want to back, Marcus?
Well, based off this season so far, I think it's just a guarantee that Southampton are going to finish bottom. Especially with Leicester, obviously now avoiding the FFP charges. The only thing is Everton have looked really bad, but I always think that they always escape. They always grab points from somewhere.
Yep.
And Southampton, I've just not really been impressed. They failed to win get a point against 10 men, Newcastle, and they just don't really look like scoring a goal. I don't know where the goals are going to come from.
They're really struggling, aren't they?
$4.30 back price with Betfair for Southampton to finish bottom.
I don't mind that. I think a lot of people, including us, had them at the bottom anyway. So the fact that you can get that really good price on Betfair, I really like that.
Yep.
My back, I'm going Everton. We're going very negative, I just realised, in a lot of our tips here. But I'm going Everton to be relegated, $2.94. I thought that was way overs. I think the way they're going at the moment, they were up 2-0 in the 86th minute on the weekend and lost 3-2. How is that even possible?
At home.
Against Bournemouth, at home, where, what do they play? Goodison Park. They've just been so good at Goodison Park. Really bad. So I'm going Everton to be relegated. I'm backing that. The ownership situation is absolutely cooked. No money to buy players. Sean Dyche is just sitting there going, I'm cooked. I'm gone before the end of the season. They're last in the league at the break with a losing 10-2 aggregate. They just looked absolutely cooked. And I think
what's that? 3 goals, 4 goals, 3 goals.
Yeah. They just can't stop conceding goals. As you said before, in the past, you go, all right, Everton, at least they can hold down defensively, maybe get some 0-0 draws and things like that.
Yep.
They're not doing that at all this season. So to be relegated, $2.94 with Betfair, that's my absolute back, and I really, really like that one.
And we might get into it later. They've had a terrible transfer window as well, which doesn't help them.
Yes, really bad. And they haven't had enough money and things like that, which is a bit of a struggle with the ownership situation. All right, looking on the other side, we're going to get into the lay market. So now this is where it says the bet, and we're going against it. So if it doesn't happen, your lay bet will get up, and we get a winner. So what's your lay bet for this?
My lay bet is Aston Villa to finish top 4, so for them not to make it.
Yep.
So not to finish in the top 4, $5.20 I just think, look, they're a good team. Don't get me wrong.
Yep.
I just think sides like Chelsea, Spurs, maybe Manchester United to an extent, even though they haven't showed it yet.
They got the talent.
They're going to get better. And I think Villa just competing with Champions League football, we saw how hard it hit Brighton. Obviously, Villa have a better manager to boot and a better squad.
Yep.
I still think they might just struggle a little bit in that department with European football.
Yeah, I don't mind that. $5.20, that's pretty good. Who's your top four then? If you're saying you're laying Aston Villa outside the top four. So yeah.
My top four would probably go Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool, and I'll just go bias and go Chelsea.
I honestly don't mind that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm a bit of a biased Chelsea fan as well. All right. My lay bet is to lay Manchester United to finish top four. So again, I'm saying similar to Marcus' one, I'm saying they're going to finish outside the top four.
Yep.
That's $6.20 on Betfair. They finished 8th last season, so they're not going to make up 4 spots, I don't think.
Yeah,
That's 3 or 4 more wins they have to get from last season. I don't think they're a 3 or 4 more win better side. They're 5 or 6 teams have better structure and cohesion. I think you mentioned a couple of them. There's just so many teams that are going to finish above them, and just defensively, obviously it's only been 3 weeks, but defensively, like through Casemiro, just the way their last line of defense has been standing and things like that, I'm just worried about them, and I don't think they have any chance of being top 4. Like there's at least 5 or 6 teams that I'd back ahead of them, so I'm laying them to finish top 4, $6.20. I think it's really good there.
They're 14th at the moment, -3 goal difference already after 3 games.
Yeah, that's a real worry.
And that win against Fulham was an 86-minute sort of scrappy sort of Joshua Zirkzee sort of diving in.
Yeah, Zirkzee's been really good, and I think maybe second half of the season they'll make a little bit of a charge up to like 5th or 6th. But I just don't see them breaking into the top 4. They got to improve a lot from last season when they finished 8th. 8th to 4th is such a big jump.
Yeah, their goals really, like Xerxes look great to start. Hoyland obviously is capable of scoring. But it's just out wide. Like Garnacho is not going to get you 10 to 15 goals.
Yeah, they need at least another guy like
Rashford is looking half the player he is at his peak.
Yep.
Yes. Roaring signs.
There you go. So yeah, make sure you get onto Betfair. The Betfair hub as well just has so many good tips there, which we will talk about all season long. So that's our back or lay bets. All right. We've already pretty much mentioned it. You said who you think is going to finish on top, but we'll just talk about it briefly once again. Let's go a title pick. We'll talk a little bit about the Betfair odds when I talk about a lay bet on this as well, but who's our title pick?
Yeah,
is it a bit obvious?
We're going Manchester City.
Yep.
But in saying that, I did have Arsenal in there if City get that points deduction.
Okay.
If City do get the points deduction, I think Arsenal will win it.
Yep.
But obviously that's a big if. We'll find out in a month or two. But from what I've seen so far, City just still look incredible. And like to get Gundogan back on a free.
I know.
Unreal.
Yeah, Gundogan's literally one of the best players in the world. He adds another scoring option. Because I like, obviously, Haaland. From midfield. You got De Bruyne who can score himself, but he can just lay it off to Gundogan. That's another long shot ability. That's why I'm going Man City as well. I know it's boring, but we're got to pick the winners here. We know how to pick the winners. And at the moment, you cannot go past Manchester City.
Can they do 5 in a row? That's unheard of. No one's ever done 4, and they did it. And they've gone for 5.
They could do 5 in a row. The thing is, if they do those charges, those 150 charges hit them, then Arsenal might, or Liverpool, I reckon, is sneaky.
Liverpool have been good, but I just think, Liverpool always a couple injuries away from being in struggle town. Yeah,
talking about Manchester City, I'm going for another lay bet with Betfair, so make sure you check out Betfair. I'm laying Arsenal to win the title. So
that's risky.
So that means I'm saying Arsenal are not going to win the title at $3.15 on Betfair. I just don't see them winning. Like, even if Manchester City got that red card on the weekend against Brighton, I think they could win by a goal. I think they could get another goal. Arsenal they didn't take their chances.
The difference with City still either hold on or go on and win that game.
Yeah.
And then Arsenal just capitulated, really.
Yeah.
Everyone, they just sat back. Brighton are a good team, don't get me wrong. But look, they'll definitely say there's 2 points lost. And it's the slimmest of margins when you're competing with Manchester City. And
I just think, so far, I just can't see anyone but Manchester City winning it unless there's those charges come into play. So I'm laying Arsenal. I know it's really early. It's only 3 weeks in, and Arsenal fans are probably thinking, we still got a chance. They still got a massive chance, but I think there's really good odds there already to lay Arsenal to win the title. I just don't think they can do it all the way.
Not bad.
All right, that's our Betfair back or lay bets. Let's get into a bit more fun as well. Best transfer window. That's our next segment here. We'll start with the team. So we'll go best transfer window. Okay. Marcus, who you got? Best team.
The best transfer window for me has been Manchester United.
Yep.
I think the additions that they brought in, especially Matthias de Ligt, Lenny Yoro at centre half, that was a big issue for them with obviously Varane now leaving. He was horrible last season. Lissandro Martinez also injured for basically the majority of the season. So you're stuck with Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans, really.
Oh, Johnny Evans. How old's Johnny Evans? He looks about 52. But
they've added a lot of depth in there now. So look, their third choice, fourth choice defenders are now better than
that's true.
Johnny Evans, Harry Maguire, and I think there's a lot of experience in there, which helps. And even in defensive midfield, Casemiro's looked horrendous.
I know.
Emmanuel Ugarte coming in from Sporting Lisbon, from PSG. He was at Sporting Lisbon originally. He's a very good player. He's a very good young player. So I think he's in on loan with an option to buy unless they bought him just straight up permanently.
Yep. But
they've done really well. So it was either between them or the team that you're going to say. Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't mind Man U. I think they finishing 8th obviously last year. They needed some structure. I think De Ligt is a beast. I think that's a great sign.
Yep.
My best though, I've said it. I think I said it even a couple of weeks ago. West Ham. I think they were awesome. They obviously finished 9th last year. To sort of hold that position in a really competitive middle part of the Premier League, they needed to get a few signings.
Yep.
So they've got Fulkrug. I know he's older. I think he's 31 now, but he's a good finisher. I think he can still have a good season.
Sure, that throughout the Euros, he was great.
Great in the Euros. You got Somerville from Leeds. I think he's a beast. So quick. He's going to be fun to watch for West Ham. Wan-Bissaka. I know that he's had a really up and down career. Obviously, when I saw him live at Palace.
Yeah.
And I said, this guy's the best player on the pitch. And Zaha was still playing. I said, this guy's the best player on the pitch. He went to Man U. Obviously, he's cooked it a little bit. But the skill he has, he can still be a really good Premier League player.
He's more of a lockdown sort of fullback. And I think at Manchester United, they wanted him to
push up a little bit
more, which doesn't really suit his game. But
West Ham probably sit back a bit more than Man U anyway. So I think that'll work really well. And then Kilman from Wolves. He's been really good. So I think they've literally got 4 signings there that really boost all positions. So I think West Ham are going to be my best transfer
push for
window.
Europe this season?
I think so.
Do they get any form of Europe?
Is it 7th for the Conference League? 6th or 7th? Yeah. They'll push for 7th, I think. I think 7th to 9th is their sort of range.
Yeah.
And they could. It's probably out of them and Brighton at the moment for that those last few Europe spots.
Yeah, I agree. I think they'll still be in around that 10th spot.
Probably, but
just because there's teams that will improve. But then again, anything can happen.
Yep. All right. We said best transfer window. Let's have a little bit of fun on the other side of it. The worst transfer window. Who are you going with?
The worst for me has to be Newcastle.
Oh, really?
Has to be Newcastle. With all the funds that they have available, look, I know it's tough to spend some of them, but they obviously completed the permanent transfer of Lewis Hall, who was from loan from Chelsea. That was 28 million.
That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money when you don't really want to spend it elsewhere. And they were linked with Mark Wahe for so long. And then Anderson from Palace obviously went to Fulham. So then Palace are like, we don't really want to get rid of our best 2 defenders, so we're going to keep Mark Wahe here. And
smart.
You guys, you're in the mud.
Yeah.
And just not to have a backup option there. Like they could have signed Tosin Adarabioyo on a free, like Chelsea did, and there was another defender that went pretty cheaply. I can't remember off the top of my head, but you could have gone in for him.
At least sign a few more players that. Yeah, just to improve. They needed to improve off last season.
Especially defensively, like the defensive options now. Like you're playing Dan Burn. Obviously, Fabian Schär suspended, so you had Dan Burn and Emil Kraft at centre back. And look, you've been under that ownership now for 2-3 seasons, and you're not really buying anyone.
Fair
so I think they really struggled. Although Tonali's basically like a new signing. So
positive note for them. Back. He was back on the bench. Obviously got in trouble last year for some betting scandals, which we don't approve. We approve of some fun betting content, but not if you're doing it illegally like him. All right, my worst transfer window, Wolves. I was really disappointed with Wolves. Obviously,
I thought they were okay.
I've just gone. Yeah, they didn't replace the losses of Kilman and Pedro Neto. They have. I think they got 96 mil from them and only spent about half of that. So they didn't really go for that big fish or a bigger guy that could come in and make their club a little bit better. They also got, I think it's Johnston from Crystal Palace, who Crystal Palace are like, as a keeper, no, we don't want you anymore as a goalkeeper. So I don't know. I feel like all they got was sort of rejects. Sort of young. Some of the younger guys they got were okay.
Yep.
But I think they could have spent a little bit more money and maybe gone for a bigger fish.
Nothing great. Like Noah Lamina on loan. A lot of players from like Celta Vigo, Nantes. Obviously, Sam Johnson as well. When they already have Jose Sarr,
he's a freak. So
and Sam Johnson already made a mistake in that game last weekend. So look, they got rid of Daniel Podence on the wing as well.
So you'd say like 3 or 4 of their starters are out from
Gonzalo
last season.
Guedes as well, out on loan. Yeah, wow. Fabio Silva, Kalisic.
Are you on my side now with...
I'm leaning towards it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think Wolves could have done a little bit better. In the past, I think they've had, sort of big transfer windows, and this one was just really disappointing. And they're going to be maybe just above that relegation zone now, but they'll be very close, as we saw against Chelsea losing 6-2.
Although Strand Larson, he did look actually kind of good, the new striker that they got in on loan.
Yeah.
But
if he can score a few goals, maybe they'll be okay.
But yeah, they'll be fighting relegation.
Yep.
For sure.
All right. Last thing we're going to do is the signing. So we're going to go best and worst signing. Ooh. This one's a little bit of fun. Best signing in the transfer window, Marcus, for you?
This is a bit harder.
This is really hard.
This was hard to do best and worst.
Yeah.
But best signing, just based off what we've seen so far, I've got Manchester United to win that won the transfer window. So I'm going to go Manchester United player.
Okay.
And I'm going to go that man, Manuel Ugarte.
Ooh,
especially what we've seen from Casemiro so far. He was at fault for at least 2 of the Liverpool goals.
What happened to Real Madrid Casemiro? He was like the best in the world, and now he's just gone down.
It's the Ten Hag effect. That's what it is.
But yeah, Ugarte,
yeah. There's so many players who could chucked in here. Like, I thought Lenny Yoro was a good one as well. Obviously, he's injured. Manchester United centre-half. Good young signing.
Yep.
I thought Savinho as well from City.
Yeah, I like him.
For only 20, I think they signed him for 28 odd million.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
For like
great replacement. Very Riyad Mahrez sort of like. He's so good on the ball. He's got some skills as well. So I thought that was a great signing. But I'll go Manuel Ugarte.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I'm going to go the real Onana. Amadou Onana. I saw yesterday he was wearing a shirt. Actually, to the game he was wearing a shirt. Stop calling me Andre, because in the Euros, the reporter called him Andre Onana. He's like, and then he went into an English accent, even though he's from Belgium. And he's like, "Don't call me Onana, mate. I mean, sorry, don't call me Andre, mate. I'm Amadou." So yeah, really like him. And I think people should put a lot more respect on his name. He's filling the Douglas Luiz void already. He's
been great to start.
He's been really good. 2 goals and 2 man of the match performances in just 3 games. Really good height. I think he's 6'6". He plays that defensive midfield role. He can get headers. He can clear the lines.
Set pieces, defensively.
Set pieces. He only got 3 goals for Everton last year.
Yeah.
And this season he's already got 2 in 3 games. So that's the other side, the Everton effect, which brings your career down. He's gone to Villa and he's absolutely thriving.
Yep.
Not even if he didn't have these stats, I just really like him as a signing, because I like his sort of two-way running, can do a bit of everything, can score goals, can defend really, really strongly. So
I like that.
Onana for me. But
I like that.
Yeah, the 2 goals does help, because I might not have put him in there if he didn't start so well.
What's your worst signing?
Worst signing. This is where it gets a bit funny.
This is a bit more fun, this one.
I'll start with this one. Jadon Sancho. I'm just saying it. Not even, I even wrote in here, not even that he's a really, really bad player. He has been poor probably the last couple of seasons. I think he only got 2 or 3 goals in the league last year.
He went on loan to Borussia Dortmund.
Yes.
And then took them to a Champions League final.
He did. He was pretty solid. But the fact that Chelsea don't need him, I'm just going to sort of, this is my point of why he's the worst signing.
Yep.
Chelsea now have 9 winger options in their squad. It was like a couple of weeks ago how we had 9 goalkeepers. There's 9. I had a look at
I'm trying to think at the top of my head. Mudryk, Neto, Felix, Nkunku, Palmer.
Yeah. Fofana. Oh, no, he's not as a winger, but
Madueke.
Yeah.
Sancho.
Yeah.
That's 7 off the top
7,
of my head.
yeah. There was at least 7 to 9. I had a look at like the squad depth on one of the sites.
Yep.
And it said, 7 to 9 wing options. So Jadon Sancho, all right, pretty big name. We don't need him. Get a defender. So that's my worst signing. Just Chelsea in the transfer window has really annoyed me. I'm happy that we got João Felix back and a few other players has been really good. But we need a defender. The defense has been the problem. Even when we Chelsea beat Wolves 6-2, those 2 goals were way too easy. So I'm a bit worried about Chelsea's defense and getting Jadon Sancho in. So sorry, Jadon Sancho, for being worst signing, but you don't help Chelsea.
I'm with you there, but the only great, like the shining light from that transfer is that the future fee is only 20 million.
Okay. Well, that helps.
It could go to 25 based off clauses and bonuses or whatever.
When he's probably worth more than that,
When Manchester United bought him for 70 million and they're going to sell him for us for 20.
Okay.
That's the only shining light. But I do agree with you, like, there's way too many options. It was unnecessary.
Unnecessary. So, probably a bit harsh to Sancho, but that's what I'm just as a Chelsea fan. I'm just venting on this show, as I like to do. All right, who's your worst signing?
I'm going to show some love.
There's no love in worst.
I'm going to show some hate to the smaller clubs. And Leicester.
Oh,
poor old Leicester. Signing Jordan Ayew, who we thought was at Crystal Palace for about 75 years. He was also at Swansea before that in 2017.
He was.
But I'm going to go Jordan Ayew. Like, $5 million for a 32-year-old on a 2-year deal. It's just screams mediocrity.
They're like
desperate.
Desperate. So I'm having a look about, you're saying mediocrity. He hasn't scored more than 4 goals since 2019. So there's been, 4 seasons in a row. He's scored 4 or less goals.
I've got his stats here. His best goal contributions in the season was 11, which was last season and in that 2019 season. But then 7, 6, 4, 3, 3.
Yeah.
0.
I guess it was only 5 mil, so they're like, we'll just take a punt.
But that's still...
But it's just mediocrity.
That's still like a decent amount for a club like Leicester.
Yeah.
And you already signed for Tawu. You've got that other promising young winger as well in the squad. And you've already got Vardy, signing for the experience in the Premier League, but you got Vardy there, who's had plenty of Premier League experience. A lot of these players, including Harry Winks, Ollie Skip could have been on this. 30 million for Ollie Skip was,
Not wrong. There's been a few weird ones. Yeah, I forgot about Ollie Skip.
But Jordan Ayew for me, I just didn't understand that.
No, I honestly think that's fair. That's probably a better call than my Sancho one. I'm just sort of reeling back on that. I still think
Sancho is still a good call. But
as in just Sancho in general, but that's a bit of a funny one. All right, that's our best and worst signings. I think that's it. That's the final whistle for the Football Today podcast. Make sure you check us out on all the socials. Check out our fun football videos. And we've had a few other little fun ones. Make sure you get around Betfair, who are on your side this EPL season. Thank you very much, Marcus.
Thank you. Just bring the Premier League back.
I couldn't agree more. We don't like the international break on here. Thank you very much, Gerald, behind the camera. Thank you very much, Olivia, on the socials. And thanks to me. We've had a pretty good show.
Well, bet you will.
Yeah,
thanks for hosting.
No worries.
You're not getting much game time at Chelsea, so you might as well do something.
Exactly right. Might as well do a podcast. That's another episode of Football Today done. We're out. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.